What's up, guys? Welcome to Parlay of the day for December 5th, 2021. I got a little special guest today, Corey Walsh, who writes for SB Nation, one of my buddies, and we do a Patriots podcast together that not a lot of people listen to, but a lot of people listen to this, so we're very excited to have him on the show. Corey, how you doing?
Great to be here. It's an honor.
It is an honor. It's an honor to have you on the show. Let's see if the people are populating. Okay, we got 4. Come on, keep coming in. We had last time we did this on a Sunday, we had 50 people on, so very excited about that. Latif's already rolling in. Latif, I saw your comment already. Yo, bro, what's up? Do you like the Rams at minus 13? We'll start with this, Corey. What do you think? You like the Rams at minus 13 today?
Against the Rams have against Jacksonville, yeah, they have a huge bounce back in them for sure. I mean, they've been disappointing for what feels like the past month, and I know OBJ is supposedly not going to play. I still think they have all the weapons required to just stomp Jacksonville. I don't think this is a Buffalo-Jacksonville game at all.
No, 100% no. Here's what I would say in this game. I'm looking at the Rams. I would not take the Jaguars at plus 13, so I'm going to go with the Rams by default. That's what I think in that game. Guys, let's just get let's throw up the regular parlays right now for the day, and then we'll get into football because that's what people care about on Sunday. So parlay of the day, December 5th, 2021. We did not hit yesterday at all, sadly, but hey, what are you going to do? Hornets plus 7, Raptors money line, Pelicans minus 3. Combined odds here, plus 567. $100 wager pays out 667. Go the ice here. Oilers puck line, Islanders money line, Lightning Flyers under 6. Combined odds plus 547. $100 wager pays out 647. And then college basketball. I do like this one today. UNC minus 3.5. Oklahoma State minus 3.5. And then Ohio State minus 5. Combined odds plus 595. $100 wager pays out 695. All right, let's get into it. Corey, this was my NFL parlay that I started the week off with. I want to get your take on it. I make my picks for B Parlay on Tuesday, so these lines have definitely shifted a little bit. But I had Eagles minus 6.5 versus the Jets. Now, this was before I believe Jalen Hurts is not playing today, correct?
Yeah, I heard that Minshew got a lot of reps in the past few days.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't mind Minshew, so I probably would stick with this. I bet the line shifted down a little bit, but Chargers, Bengals minus 3, and then Colts minus 9 versus the Texans. What do you think of this?
I think it's a very good mix. I mean, you got to ride Joey B. I mean, for those who listened to our Patriots podcast, I'm sure Tanner says it here too, but he loves Justin Herbert, so this must kill him inside that this is part of his parlay.
Yeah, definitely. Let's get the comments, people. Let's get some comments in there. I told Corey we get comments on this show. We're lying to him. We got just Latif's coming in. I like this one a lot. Let me see what the Eagles line is right now.
A bit lower, I would still hit it because the Jets are terrible, and Zach Wilson's playing again today. I don't know if I really need to see Zach Wilson throw the football into the back of his teammates' shoulder pads 3 more times in my lifetime before the Jets realize, you know what? We made a mistake. We could have picked literally anyone else, so we would have been better.
100%. So we got Eagles at minus 5 today now, minus 114, so that's favored over the Jets there. And then we go Chargers, Bengals. I mean, you got to roll with the Bengals today. And, you know, Burrow hasn't even been – great. It's been Mixon. Honestly. Yeah, it's been Mixon. I'm surprised Mixon's run the ball so well right now.
Mixon's always been a really good running back in the NFL. His problem is he always gets injured, at multiple points in the year. It's the only reason I never draft him in fantasy because you look at his numbers and you're like, this guy should be an elite running back. And then you realize, oh, he missed 2 games for multiple times throughout the season. He's really good. I'm glad he's finally doing well. And the offensive line actually looks good. Everyone gave the Bengals a lot of shit when they drafted Jamar Chase over Penei Sewell, or at least another one of those offensive linemen in the draft. And now their line is outperforming the expectations of every expert out there.
100%. So Joe Mixon's rushing prop today, over 91.5 yards. Hammer it, right? The Chargers have one of the worst rushing defenses in the NFL. Hammer it. Yeah.
I think they are the worst.
Yeah, no, they're 29, 30th, 31st, or 32nd, depending on what stat you look at. So I would hammer that as well. I want to talk about the Colts game, minus 9. I believe the line is still minus 9. Hopefully it hasn't shifted up to 10. So it is 10 now at minus 110. This is kind of gives me I feel like it could be a push, but I'm still going to ride with the Colts today. Jonathan Taylor had a terrible week last week, 80-something yards, and that was still better than a lot of running backs on a terrible week. So I'm gonna ride with Jonathan Taylor and the Colts at minus 10. Now, what do you think of this game?
I think I agree with you because a bad game for Jonathan Taylor against the Bucs is equivalent to 150 yards on a mediocre rush defense. The Bucs have always been known to force teams to throw. I mean, against the Patriots in week 4, we had -1 rushing yards, and Mac Jones had to throw the entire game. The Texans are just awful. If the Colts come out with the same same way they played in the first half against Tampa Bay, like they go up 24 to 13, the game's over. Like the Texans will just roll over and just crawl back into the dark cave that is the Houston Texans.
Now, here's an interesting question. Now, I did for my parlay today, I did adjusted total. I put just Jonathan Taylor 100 yards, but over 105 today for Jonathan Taylor. What do you think?
I feel like you just got to ride it. I mean, he's been fantastic. He arguably could be the MVP of the league because all the other quarterbacks have had like 2 or 3 down weeks, which we usually don't see from MVP quarterbacks. I think this could be the year that a running back actually wins, even though everyone out there is saying that the committee will never let that happen. You have to, if the Colts make the playoffs, it's going to be because of Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I think the Colts are a really good team. I mean, guys, let us know what you think in the comments as well. Let us know what your favorite lines are right now. We got 14 on. The numbers going up by the second here. Let's keep it going. Let's get some comments in here. But I think the Colts are one of the best rushing teams. No, not best rushing teams. One of the best teams that just do stupid things. That's what I would say. They're one of the best. If they just coach the right way, they didn't and they didn't try to throw the ball to Carson Wentz a million times early in the season, I think they'd be a lot better.
Yeah, I think when we were talking about the Colts earlier in the season, everyone thought the reason that they would be bad is because the Carson Wentz trade would just backfire on them. Either he'd be injured or he would just throw the ball carelessly like he's done with in the past. But Carson Wentz has been phenomenal. He's thrown 4 interceptions on the season so far with 20 touchdowns. That if you told Colts fans that's the Carson Wentz you'd be getting, you'd be thinking they're like a Super Bowl team at this point. It is the coaching that's really letting them down.
Yeah, 100%. Carson Wentz has been really good, but if you look at the games where he's thrown the ball 50 times, I bet they barely won any of those games. That's the thing. They gotta pound the rock with Taylor today. Come out, establish the run, and help Jonathan Taylor out. We got another comment in here. Free bands drift. Let's talk about the Ravens game today. Ravens are playing the Steelers, and they are -4 on the road in Pittsburgh. I'm going to be honest with you, Corey. I kind of like the Steelers today. I think they bounced back after a horrible performance last week. I like them at +4 at home. I think take the points there and just play it safe.
I think the Steelers, just their season was summarized, I think, yesterday when Big Ben comes out and he said he's told people in the organization he believes he's not coming back to Pittsburgh. I don't know who Ben's sources are, but I believe it's called Common Sense. They've been terrible. Solely because of him. If they had an above average quarterback, that offense would be clicking on all cylinders. I mean, they have one of the most explosive weapon groups in the NFL, and they don't even have Juju right now. I kind of like the Ravens a lot because you have to remember the Ravens also put an absolute turd on Sunday Night Football. So they also have a reason to, even though they won, they definitely should have won by so many more points. I mean, there was a whole stretch in the second quarter where there was 5 turnovers in 5 possessions. I think the Ravens are just going to absolutely throttle Pittsburgh today.
Here's what I think about the Ravens. Here's what I think. And I would not be surprised to see the Ravens throttle Pittsburgh, but free bands drift. I would probably fade this game if I was, if you like betting the whole slate like me, go with it. But I would probably fade this game just because we don't know. I think the Ravens are so much worse than their record shows, which is true. I mean, I got a sour taste in my mouth when they played the Dolphins on Thursday Night Football, and just the Dolphins won that game, and the Ravens just didn't show up. So that's my take on the Ravens. We got another comment. They're rolling in here. Kernsey, 44, top four picks for a parlay, extra money this week. Well, I'll give you mine. I like Eagles 6.5. It's down to 5 now. Bengals, Chargers -3, Colts -9, and then one more for me. I would probably go with the Patriots at +3. Now it's +2.5. I do like that. I also like the Rams at 13. That's a big spread to cover. You know what, too? I kind of like the Dolphins at 6.5 today at home. I think that's a good bet as well. Corey, if you had to give 4 bets today, what are you going with?
Wait, the Dolphins are +6 today?
No, they're -6.
I was going to say, with Mike Glennon, they're still plus. That's insane. Yeah, I think the Dolphins are going to throttle the Giants today.
Yeah.
Dolphins defense is literally carrying that team on their back, and Tua's RPOing himself into being a decent NFL quarterback. It's insane. I do like all the picks that Tanner's laid out, not to sound like I just haven't prepped anything, but these were pretty much when I looked at the spread, these are the games that kind of were giving the most money for what you're putting down.
Okay, so Corey's rolling with me then. Gotta love that. We got some more comments in here. Do you guys think Detroit covers +7? I don't trust the Vikings. But I also I don't know, man. That's a hard one. I think you know what, like one of the Lions have been one of the best teams against the spread this year, but the Vikings are kind of rolling. But again, they do stupid things. I'm gonna go. I'd probably go Vikings -7. What do you think, Corey?
I think Detroit is like the king of like every week.
Cover.
Well, they got to get the win at this point. I think there was like a 4-week stretch where I was just like, oh, Lions, hammer them. They're going to win this week. Dan Campbell's getting this team fired up. You can only cry so many times in your post-game presser for me to get fired up, Dan Campbell. At this point, like I feel like the thing you'll know about the Lions is they'll either completely cover the spread or they're just going to get blown out. Like there's nothing like they're flirting with it. The Vikings are also the king of that though. I feel like they also just flirt with covering spreads all the time. It's kind of like they're playing each other. It's like the Spider-Man meme where they're just looking at each other and pointing. It's kind of how I view these two teams just going against each other. I kind of think Detroit's going to cover the +7 though, because the Vikings just like. I mean, Kirk Cousins lined out under his guard just last week to capture the Vikings' detrimental season. Dalvin Cook's out too, and he's like a huge part of this offense. I mean, Madison's fine. He's like a good starter for a bottom-level NFL team. But when your entire offense kind of relies on the run, I don't see Kirk Cousins putting the team on his back in this case.
No, 20 people on. Number keeps going up, guys. Keep the comments rolling in here. When I look at this game, though, here's what I think, Corey. The Vikings have been really good on offense this year. Their problem has been their defense, and the Lions can't score. So when I do that, when I put that math together, I like the Vikings at -7. I wish it was 6.5. I think it was 6.5 earlier in the week. Everything jumps up a half a point on Sundays, which I hate. But you know that's the pain of waiting till Sunday to place bets. Sup, bro? What do you think about the Giants versus Dolphins? I kind of want to take the Giants, or should I get the under or over? Thanks, Tanner. Nice show. Shout out. Blessed day to y'all. Love it. Hugo. I'm gonna, like we talked about before, I love the Dolphins at 6.5 at home. The over is set at 40. Corey, I know you're going with the Dolphins at 6.5, but what do you like for the total?
For the total, I'd probably go under. This game is just going to be hideous.
Yeah, I would go under too. I don't think the
if you are thinking about betting the Giants, just know that Mike Glennon hasn't won an NFL football game since 2017, and let that just sink in.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Even against the spread too. I mean, and you know what too? Like, what did they beat the Eagles last week? It was last week, right?
Yeah. And it was an awful game. Like if they played anyone but Jalen Hurts, they would have lost. They only won because they turned it over 4 times, and they only scored 13 points off 4 turnovers, and that was with Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I love Freddie Kitchens calling the plays now. I think that's great because it's just Freddie Kitchens is a funny guy. But yeah, they are not going to score points. I would go under. Whenever those totals are set right at those like 40, it's kind of like the NBA total set at like 201. Like there's a reason
people want to bet like if it's above 100, then they'll hit over. Or 200. So each team scores like 100 expected.
Yeah, there's a reason. Like when I look at the like back when I was like early in my betting career, I would see like a low total like that. Like I do it still. Like I saw a total. I think it was one of the Iowa games for football earlier this year, and that's why I faded the total last night. Now it did go over thanks to Michigan kicking their ass by 1 point, right? But like I always fade those totals now because I'm like, there's a reason like an NBA total is at 201. There's a reason an NFL total is 40 points. The teams don't score. So, usually go under. I think the under hits more times in those cases. Hit the like button. Gotta love it. So Hugo under, and then I like the Dolphins. And Corey does as well. Hit the like button. Yes, hit the like button. Devon, Johnny Gonzalez, Washington, and Cincy are locks. So we haven't talked about the Washington game yet. We talked about Cincy. I love Cincy today. Washington +1.5, +106 money line against Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, I don't think the Raiders are very good. So I think the Cowboys are struggling based on their game on Thanksgiving, so I wouldn't read into that too much saying, Las Vegas is the greatest team in the world. I do like Washington today, money line +106. I think that's a good bet. But they're on the road too.
Yeah, Washington is turning into one of the hottest teams in football right now. I mean, Taylor Heinicke went from people saying like Cam Newton should be brought in to now everyone thinks Taylor Heinicke could actually be like a decent franchise quarterback for the Washington football team. Also, I mean, they're also a playoff team, I think, right now. When you look at the standings of the 7th seed, the defense has been the main issue for them all year. Everyone thought in the beginning of the season that they were going to have the most dominant defense in football. People were picking them like with their top defensive picks for fantasy, and then everyone realized, oh crap, they actually aren't that great. And actually, once Chase Young went out, their defense really stepped up, which is kind of weird. But Washington is just, I think, if I would be more comfortable betting for Washington than I would be for Las Vegas. Because like you said, they're like one of the most like wishy-washy teams in the league. Like they'll have like statement games in air quotes where they like crush good teams and then they just lose to mediocre teams, I feel like all the time.
Yeah, 100%. Like this thing about the NFL, there's not really a lot of good teams in the NFL this year.
There's like 4.
No, like every team has a bad week, and every team over the course of a season, no matter how good you are, is typically going to have a bad week. But teams are starting to have more and more bad weeks. That's why this year's betting slate. Ooh, shoot, my studio almost got broken there. That's why teams every week are having like bad. Like betting's not great every week. Like there hasn't been a great week where betting's just gone as expected. Maybe earlier in the season, but as of late, things have been a little rough. Any NBA picks? Yeah, I'll throw them up right now. I don't know. Hornets +7, Raptors money line, Pelicans -3. Lock it up there. James Little, J Money. All right, I would just stay away from the Vikings game. Detroit going to get a win one of these Sundays. Just don't know when. Yeah, I don't know when. I would probably stay away from the Vikings game. Like I said, Detroit, great covering the spread. Vikings, pretty good covering the spread as well. But the thing is, the Vikings score. Detroit doesn't score. That's my biggest fear, even though the Vikings have a weak defense. So I would probably fade that game as well. We talked about that already. Tanner, great call on Bama, bro. Should have listened to you, bro. Yeah, well, James, you know what? I did not have a great college football day. Me and Corey were talking about this before we got on. But I did have a good bet with Bama because Nick Saban was 9-1 in SEC championships. Like, you just don't bet against that. You don't bet against the GOAT. 49ers or Seahawks. We got 2 comments in here on that. Winston Buzzin and Kernsey 44. Got some new people commenting today, guys. I love this. All right, so 49ers or Seahawks. Kernsey thinks Niners is a lock. 49ers or Seahawks. Let's check this out. Corey, I'll let you take it from here. I'll give you the spread. Niners -3 today versus the Seahawks.
I would probably take the Niners. I'm in the mindset right now that I'm not going to pick on Seattle covering anything until I see Russell Wilson have one good game of football coming back from his finger injury. I mean, he looks like he came back 7 weeks way too early. These balls are just flying all over the place. I mean, he didn't target DK Metcalf until the 4th quarter. DK Metcalf's like on like a streak that he's had like 3 games with under 50 yards. He's never had a streak of like 2 games under 50 yards in his NFL career. The only thing Wilson seems comfortable doing is throwing deep bombs to Tyler Lockett that result in field goals because they can't score. And now they just brought Adrian Peterson back because they're in win now mode when they're like 3-8. I don't know what they understand that win now mode means besides the fact that they need to win so the Jets don't have a top 5 pick. The 49ers are a scary team too, though. I mean, they're very up and down, but I think the Niners are going to start pulling it together pretty fast. They're relying heavily on their run game. Even though they don't have Debo this week, I think that they'll make it work because Brandon Ayuk's a stud, and he's just been in the doghouse all season.
Yeah, so the public's going to be on the Niners today. I bet we got Kernsey 44 Niners, Johnny Gonzalez. I agree with the Niners, but Curtis Berry rolling in here, underdogs today. So Curtis, I'm going to roll with you here. I like the Seahawks at +3 today. Why do I like the Seahawks at +3, Corey? Because this game's in Seattle, and last week was kind of like they had that come to Jesus meeting after the game. Pete Carroll's like, Russell Wilson's got to play better. This whole team's got to play better. The 49ers have lost to the Seahawks this year. They are playing outside their mind right now, and they're running the football very efficiently, but the Seahawks know they can beat the 49ers. It's in Seattle. I think this is the game they bounce back, especially against the points. I'll take them against the points. I wouldn't take them straight up. But it pains me to do that. It pains me to do that because I think the 49ers are playing great right now, and they're running the football great, and that's what it takes to win December. But it's going to be tough to do it in Seattle. Took Seattle +3.5. Now it's a great bet. +3 I don't love as much, but +3.5 I do really like. Another comment. I really love Pittsburgh today, at the very least to cover, even though Watt is out. The Ravens look like shit when they win, and Pittsburgh, even though they've been losing, they look better each week. We talked about this game, Corey. You said Ravens, I said Pittsburgh, right?
Yep.
+4. I'd take them on the points, -110. So the public split both sides here on FanDuel. Pittsburgh's only +168. Anytime, I mean, like, and I use this rule in hockey betting. If you have an away underdog or an away favorite, I usually hammer them in hockey. But that's because home teams are usually always favored in hockey. When I look at football, it's a little different. I think in Pittsburgh, they can play. Maybe Big Ben steps up today. Maybe the defense plays great. I don't know. I just don't love the Ravens. Don't love betting the Ravens.
Yeah, no, I used to think that home field was really like an advantage in football because like 5 years ago or 10 years ago it was. But when you look at the stats now, it's like home teams win 53 or 55% of their games. Like home field advantage has kind of died away, and no one really knows why.
Yeah, you know what? I think home field advantage it means something in the playoffs, obviously. But yeah, like you said, like I think because these guys are like pros, like they're pro, like it's you play 8 games on the road, 8 or 9 now games on the road a year. It's like every stadium's loud. They're all built the same way. I mean, yeah, some fans are crazier than others, but like you know how to deal with noise. They've been doing it for years, so I think that's one reason maybe. But yeah, when in doubt though, for me, I always go with the home team just to play it safe. Lamar struggles today, Curtis. I agree with you. Curtis, I think you got some very good insight. I think Lamar struggles because Lamar's not very good in his past 5 games if you look at the stats. Any other comments, guys? I think we've talked about pretty much every game on the slate. Okay, so we got New England. We got a few more. All right, we'll start with Denver versus Kansas City, the Sunday night game. This is a very underwhelming Sunday night game. One more comment here. Do you like the Colts to win? Yes, I like them to cover -10 and -9.5. We both do. All right, let's talk about the Sunday night game here. Whew. Corey, remind me. Denver versus Kansas City. It's an ugly game. I'm not high on the Chiefs. I think you should not bet the Chiefs ever again. But you like the Chiefs, so why don't you talk?
Yeah, what's the Chiefs spread for this? I'm assuming they're favored by 3?
It is 8.5. That's an ugly spread. They're at home though. They're at Arrowhead, so that's one thing.
I would take Denver. Denver plus 8.5.
Yeah, I like Denver.
It's so close. I mean, Denver's defense is phenomenal, and their offense is fine when Teddy Bridgewater's playing. Melvin Gordon's not playing for them this week, though, but that doesn't really matter because Javonte Williams is a monster who should have been having the carry since the start of the season. The Chiefs are going to probably just pull it out, but it's going to be really close. I don't see a situation in which Kansas City blows the doors off of the Denver defense. Not at all. I mean, all the defenses now know just to play 2 safeties deep against Mahomes and the Chiefs. So if they just do that and they just rely on their pass rush, they'll definitely do work because they've been still mustering up pass rush even without Von Miller around. And they've had some good wins ever since they let him go too. Yeah. And Kansas City's just like we said, like I'm confident that they'll be fine in the postseason, but I don't think they're going to start like just flipping the switch and dominating teams again.
Yeah, 100%. When I look at this game, Kansas City is not good on offense. And like everyone thinks Kansas City is good on offense because of Patrick Mahomes. They're not good on offense. Go look at the stats. They're at the bottom of the league in most statistical categories for offense, or second half of the league. They don't do anything super well. They're not going to blow Denver off the field. I think Denver keeps it close. 8.5 is too good to resist. I think 6.5, maybe you go Kansas City, but you can get 8.5. That's too good of a deal. Colts, easy. Jonathan Taylor, 2+ touchdowns. I agree. We were talking about this before the show. Jonathan Taylor had a bad week against Tampa Bay, and he had 80-something yards and a touchdown last week.
Whenever you want to bet for a prop for that Houston Colts game, bet that T.Y. Hilton gets over whatever his receiving total is, because T.Y. Hilton against Houston has been an absolute animal. If you look at his track record, he always gets like so many catches and yards throughout each game. It's like the one game he ever wakes up for. It's like he looks on the calendar, sees he's playing Houston, and he goes back to like 2013 and just becomes T.Y. Hilton that was playing with Andrew Luck.
Definitely. All right, last one, Tanner, here. Guys, I see all the comments. We'll talk about the Cardinals here in a minute. Everyone wants to know about the Cardinals. I see the comments rolling in. What do you think about Tampa versus Atlanta? Tom will cover that line. I believe Tom will cover that line. Let me see what the line is now. It's 10.5. Yeah, like I was afraid to bet Tom against the Giants at -11, but again, it's Tom Brady. It's like yesterday with the SEC championship. You don't bet against GOATs. Tom Brady, 10.5 against a bad Atlanta team. I mean, Mac Jones and the Patriots covered this. They'll cover this as well. Corey, what do you think?
Yeah, Tom Brady's going to absolutely blow the doors off of the Atlanta Falcons. He has owned them for every game he's been in the Tampa Bay. Whatever Tom Brady's like, I would assume his like passing over under prop is like 2.5 or 3, and I would still go over. I think Tom Brady could easily throw 5 touchdowns today. I think everyone's going to think that Leonard Fournette's going to come back in again and score 4 touchdowns. I think Tom Brady's like, I want to win this MVP. I'm going to start slinging it around to Evans and Godwin and Gronk, and they're just going to dominate.
100%. We'll talk cards here. The Cardinals are 7.5 today. Is Kyler Murray playing? Do we have that confirmed?
I think he is. I think they said it was like him and Hopkins are expected to come back today.
All right. So Space Spear did adjusted total, obviously, and went 20.5. He's feeling good about himself. I don't know if they will cover 20.5. I think that's asking a lot. At Soldier Field, again, the Bears suck. But the Bears, again, another wish-washy team. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. Curtis likes the Bears at 7.5. He's picking it all underdogs today. I don't know. Let's talk about the total in this game. Under 42. kind of scares me a little bit. What do you think?
I think if the Bears are in this game, it's because it's a shootout, not because
Yeah.
it's close. I think Justin Fields still like hasn't shown us what he's fully capable of, but he's flirted with good games. Like, and if him and Darrell Mooney have been getting like putting in work together recently, I think it's a good. I wouldn't bet the Bears at plus 7.5, but I would probably, if you're going to bet anything, just parlay it with over 42. I think it'd be a high scoring game.
Yeah. Like if you go Bears 7.5, I do think the over is got to go because the Cardinals are going to score points today, especially if Murray's playing.
They score him with Colt McCoy, so you can't say with Kyler Murray that they're going to go under.
No, yeah, I totally agree with that. I appreciate the picks. Let's get this money. Empathy. You know what? We're all on the same team here. We're all trying to win money. So we appreciate you guys for watching. Tom minus 16, Space Spear. You like the adjusted spreads today, I can see. Top over under picks for y'all. Let's see. I mean, I would say go under in what was the one game, Corey, we had? Under in the Philly Jets game, right? Was that?
Yeah, and under in the Dolphins Giants game.
Yeah, under there, under in Philly Jets.
Under in Pittsburgh and Baltimore.
Yeah, that's 44. The over is slightly favored there at minus 114 compared to minus 106, but still he like under there. I think under in the 49ers Seahawks game at 45. Just because there's going to be a lot of run the football in that game.
I also don't want to I don't know if you do Monday picks also, but that Patriots Bills game, I would also go under
40.5. Yeah, I would probably go.
That game is it's going to have terrible weather. It's going to be super windy. These are two of the best two of the best defenses in football, and they're going to run heavy, even though the Bills have no running backs that really do that.
All right, so there's your top total picks. James Little, any money line NCAA picks? I got some spread picks for you here. I have not looked at I looked at the money line. UNC 3.5, Oklahoma State 3.5, Ohio State -5. Those games are all pretty close spread wise, so the money line should be decent value there if you want to go with that. Let's keep going here. Get the comments. Man has arrived. Terry's in the house. Terry,
let's go.
Man has arrived.
Terry,
what's up, Terry?
I can see you again. This is awesome.
Terry's here. Terry to come see Corey again. I have the Eagles at -6. Space Spear. What? Wait. Please tell me these are adjusted. Wait. Okay. So did you just adjust? Well, that's -5, so -6. That makes sense. The other ones you definitely adjusted though. Eagles -6. I like that. I would take Eagles -7. I think they blow the door off the Jets. They bounce back this week.
The only way the Jets get winning is if Zach Wilson breaks his ankle and Mike White comes in to be Superman again.
Yeah, 100%. As long as Zach Wilson's playing, we should be okay. Eagles 33-27. Space Spear, you like that? Under in the Vikings and Lions, both Swift and Cook out. Yep, we agree with that. And then Curtis has Dolphins Giants. He likes the under there. Dolphins Giants, like we said, that's one of our favorite unders for the day.
Yeah,
at 40. Yeah, I mean, guys, there's a reason. There's a reason those totals are at 40. They're tempting, but there's a reason they're there. All right, guys, good show. Corey, we talked about the Monday night game, I guess, for a minute here, which Patriots and Bills +2.5 for the Patriots right now. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the Patriots have a good chance of winning one of these two Buffalo games, and I think they could easily go in and ride their hot streak. But I think Buffalo's also trying to prove that they're still an elite team in the AFC. So I wouldn't say this is one team coming in hot and one team coming in cold. I would say both these teams are just coming in motivated to win.
Yep, definitely. All right, guys, we'll get the quote up here. Get the quote. This is from the picks. Go check out the Week 13 NFL picks. They're up right now if you want to laugh a little bit. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die, baby. Let's go win some money this week. Good luck, everybody. Curtis, guys, thanks for joining us today. It was a great show. We had 30 people on, a lot of comments, so it was fun. Comments are rolling in. I'm with you, Terry's with you, Corey. Pat's 2.5.
Let's go, Terry.
There you go. Nice work, Terry. All right, guys. So we will. I'll be back tomorrow, Monday. Maybe Corey will join us next weekend again. Who knows if he has fun today? But we'll be back Monday. Recap the picks, talk about Monday Night Football, and then talk about NBA, NHL, all that good stuff, guys. So we will talk to you Monday for another episode. Go check out the website if you missed any of the picks. I will talk to you soon.